The 1944 Liberty Wheat Penny, commonly known as the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Cent, is one of the most iconic and widely circulated coins in American numismatic history. It holds a special place not only due to its age and historical context, but also because of its intriguing varieties and errors, some of which are worth thousands of dollars. Today, the year 1944 was during World War II, a time of massive industrial mobilization in the United States. Due to wartime demands, metal resources were tightly controlled. In 1943, the U.S. Mint had temporarily shifted from copper to zinc-coated steel for penny production to conserve copper for war efforts. This decision was reversed in 1944 due to public dissatisfaction with the 1943 steel cents and the restoration of copper availability. The 1944 wheat penny marked the return to 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, the standard alloy used before 1943. This change not only restored the familiar appearance of the penny but also improved durability and public satisfaction. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny features the same classic design introduced in 1909, a right-facing bust of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Above Lincoln's head is the motto, "In God We Trust," with Liberty on the left and the date 1944 on the right. This high mintage makes the 1944 cent one of the most common wheat pennies today. One of the most famous coin errors in U.S. history occurred in 1944. A few steel planchets from 1943 were accidentally used in 1944 penny production. These 1944 steel pennies are incredibly rare and valuable. Only about 30-35 examples are known to exist from all mints value, depending on condition. Apart from the steel error, other valuable varieties include double die obverse DDO. Slight doubling in letters or date can increase value. Repunched mint mark RPM, especially from Denver or San Francisco. Off-center strikes, die cracks, or clipped planchets also fetch premiums from collectors. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat penny is often one of the first coins new collectors acquire, due to its affordability and historical charm. It's frequently included in penny boards and starter sets. This penny represents a return to stability during a chaotic period in world history, as the U.S. was transitioning toward victory in World War II. The return of the copper penny was a subtle but comforting sign of normalcy for many Americans. Due to its copper content, the 1944 penny is susceptible to, due to the high value of 1944 steel cents. Counterfeits are common. Genuine steel pennies should stick to a magnet 3 mints struck copper cents in 1944. Some Denver and San Francisco issues are noted for higher strike quality in some San Francisco coins. Slight differences in die characteristics. Wheat pennies, including those from 1944, were used in patriotic campaigns, encouraging Americans to buy war bonds. Children, especially, were targeted through penny drive. In 1944, the United States was at the height of its involvement in World War II. The D-Day invasion occurred on June 6, 1944, marking a crucial turning point in the war. The nation's entire economy was geared toward the war effort, with factories producing tanks, planes, and ammunition instead of consumer goods. Even coin production was impacted. The 1943 steel cents were not well received. They rusted easily, were mistaken for dimes, and sometimes even jammed vending machines. Public complaints, combined with the reduced military demand for copper, allowed the U.S. Mint to return to its pre-war bronze composition in 1944. Interestingly, the copper used in 1944 pennies came in part from recycled shell casings collected from battlefields and training grounds, a patriotic symbol of bullets to coins. The U.S. Treasury encouraged civilians and companies to donate spent shell casings and other brass scrap. These were melted down and refined to strike 1944 cents. This practice continued through 1946. These shell case cents carry historical symbolism, turning instruments of war into everyday currency. Though many refer to this coin as the 1944 Liberty penny, the word Liberty appears on all U.S. pennies since the first Lincoln cent in 1909. It's not a unique feature of 1944. Still, the association with wartime. Freedom gives the term Liberty Penny special meaning during this era. The Philadelphia Mint, which struck over 1.4 billion 1944 pennies, didn't use a mint mark in 1944. Coins from Philadelphia are the most common and easiest to find today. Despite their abundance, pristine red examples are still highly sought after in the collector market. The Denver and San Francisco mints also played key roles in wartime coin production, with a combined output of over 700 million 1944 cents. These facilities ensured that troops, workers, and citizens at home had access to small change for commerce. During war rationing and economic restrictions, many U.S. soldiers carried 1944 pennies in their pockets during World War II. Some wrote home that they saved a penny as a good luck charm or reminder of home. Others sent coins in letters to loved ones. These small copper pieces became tokens of hope, love, and connection across battle lines. As the war began winding down in 1945, the 1944 penny represented the final full year of coin production under complete wartime constraints. The return to traditional coinage hinted at the eventual return to normalcy and peace, even as the conflict still raged in Europe and the Pacific. The rare 1944 steel cent era likely occurred when leftover 1943 steel blanks were mistakenly fed into coin presses during early 1944. These errors were not intentional but are now considered some of the most famous errors in numismatic history. Examples have been found from Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, though the Philadelphia variety is the most documented. Estimates vary, but it's believed that less than 50 genuine 1944 steel cents.
The 1978 Liberty 5-cent coin, more commonly known as the Jefferson nickel, is part of one of the most iconic and enduring coin series in the history of the United States Mint. While on the surface it might appear to be a common coin, the 1978 version holds deep historical, cultural, and numismatic significance, especially for collectors who appreciate both historical context and minting craftsmanship. The Jefferson nickel debuted in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. It features Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and principal author of the Declaration of Independence. His portrait was designed by Felix Schlag, a German-American sculptor who won a national competition to create the coin's design. By 1978, this design had already been circulating for decades, and the coin had become one of the most recognized denominations in American pockets. The obverse front of the 1978 nickel showcases a left-facing portrait of Jefferson. Along the left rim is the word, "In God We Trust," while the right side reads, "Liberty," followed by the date 1978, separated by a small star. This side symbolizes Jefferson's contributions to American democracy, liberty, and independence. The reverse back of the coin features Monticello, Jefferson's neoclassical Virginia estate, which he personally designed. The structure is centered with the word Monticello below it, and a pluribus unum out of many, one above. Beneath Monticello are the denomination, 5 cents, and the country name, United States of America. In 1978, the Jefferson nickel was struck at 2 major mints: Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark; standard Denver Mint, marked with a small d to the right of Monticello. There was no 1978 nickel minted in San Francisco for general circulation, although proof versions were struck there for collectors and carry an S mint mark. The total mintage for the 1978 Jefferson nickel was enormous, reflecting widespread use. Philadelphia Mint approximately 585 million coins, approximately 563 million coins. This high mintage means that most 1978 nickels in circulated condition are relatively common, though high-grade uncirculated and proof specimens are valuable to collectors. The 1978 Liberty 5-cent coin is made from a copper-nickel alloy. Composition: 75% copper, 25% nickel. To fully understand the value of the 1978 nickel, we must look at the state of America. During that time, the U.S. was recovering from the economic challenges of the early 1970s, including inflation and an energy crisis. President Jimmy Carter was in office. Facing political and economic instability, coin production remained steady as coins were essential for everyday commerce. This turbulent socio-economic backdrop adds historical depth to the 1978 Jefferson nickel, symbolizing a stable form of currency in changing times. Thomas Jefferson has appeared on U.S. coinage more than most founding fathers. His presence on the nickel is both symbolic and educational, reminding the time the 1978 nickel was struck. The Jefferson nickel series had been in continuous production for 40 years, a record unmatched by any other U.S. coin with the same design. The series had survived wars, political upheaval, inflation, and changing mint technologies, becoming an anchor in the pocket change of millions of Americans. Thomas Jefferson was not just a founding father. He was a philosopher-statesman. His belief in liberty, enlightenment, and limited government was so powerful that the U.S. Mint saw it fitting to place his image and estate on a coin meant for daily use. Jefferson also played a pivotal role in shaping America's monetary system. He advocated for decimal-based currency, which led to the dollar-cent system we still use today. The 1978 nickel came after this period. Its legacy is tied to an important wartime shift. During World War II 1944-1945, nickel was a critical war material. To preserve it, the mint changed the composition of the 5-cent coin to include 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. These war nickels have a large mint mark above Monticello and remain collectible today. The 1970s were a time of high inflation and economic uncertainty in the United States. Coin usage was at an all-time high, especially lower denominations like the nickel. Gas prices soared due to the 1973 oil embargo, and everyday Americans relied on exact change for transactions at gas stations, diners, and public transportation. The 5-cent coin was not just common, it was essential. Vending machines, parking meters, payphones, laundromats, and arcade games were popular in the 1970s. The nickel was a foundational unit in this coin-based economy. The 1978 Jefferson nickel, though often overlooked, powered a growing mechanical microeconomy, where 5 cents could still deliver utility or entertainment. The 1970s also marked a period of significant advancement in minting technology. Coin presses became faster and more accurate, improving the quality and consistency of circulating coins. By 1978, die production was more standardized, and full-step Monticello strikes became more frequent, though still hard to find. Due to rapid wear in circulation, Monticello is more than a building. It is a symbol of Jefferson's mind. Every column, dome, and doorway reflects his passion for Enlightenment architecture. The reverse of the coin preserves this in miniature detail. By placing Monticello on the coin, the U.S. Mint celebrates not just a man, but a vision, Jefferson's blueprint for an educated, agrarian republic. Coins minted in Philadelphia No Mint Mark and Denver D. in 1978 represent different facets of U.S. minting power. Denver struck billions of coins for the American West, while Philadelphia supplied the East. Their combined output in 1978 reflects not only demand but the regional complexity of distributing coins in a country spanning thousands of miles. Though not released into circulation, the proof coin struck in San Francisco